Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, June 13th, 2023, and the time is 5:30 p.m., and we're here for the Crime Control and Prevention District regular session meeting of the City of Coppell. There is a quorum present, and I will call the meeting to order. All right, item 2, citizens' appearance. Persons wishing to speak during citizens' appearance must sign the appropriate register outside the council chambers and list their address. Is there anyone that is signed up for citizens' appearance? All right. Is anyone in the chambers that would like to speak? Excellent. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now moving on to item 3. We're going to do our introduction and history. I'll now turn it over to Ms. Jessica Almendarez, the budget officer. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, CCPD Board. The Crime Control and Prevention District is a special purpose tax district created by Texas Code 363 to provide crime prevention programs and services to the community. This fund utilizes a quarter-cent sales tax as its main source of revenue. Whether you are an individual who lives in the city of Coppell or you are an individual passing through, the sales tax you pay for purchases in Coppell contribute to this fund. Thank you. The Crime Control and Prevention District is created and authorized only if the district and sales tax are approved by a majority of the qualified voters and is considered a separate entity that is governed by Local Government Code Section 363. The district is also governed by a board of 7 members, which is currently the voting members of the City of Coppell City Council. The board is required to propose a budget, hold a public hearing, and adopt the proposed budget that is then presented by the governing body, the Coppell City Council. The Coppell Crime Control and Prevention District is being accounted for as a special revenue fund in the financial records of the city. A special revenue fund is one that is used to account for and report the proceeds of a specific revenue source. The quarter-cent sales tax that is used for revenue in this fund is restricted or committed to expenditures for a specific purpose. And we can move to the next slide. Okay. The Coppell Crime Control and Prevention District was approved by voters in November of 2007 and became effective April 2008. The original term was for 5 years with an expiration of April of 2013. Next, citizens authorized the fund for a term of 10 years and it expired in April of 2023. Most recently, in November of 2022, the citizens reauthorized the district for an additional 10 years with a new expiration date of April of 2033. For the district to continue, the next vote must take place on or before November of 2032. The expenditures of the district are in 3 areas: our School Resource Officer Program, the Enhanced Radio Dispatch Center, NTEC, or the North Texas Emergency Communication Center, and a Vehicle Replacement Program. This concludes the brief review of the history of the Coppell Crime Control and Prevention District.
Thank you very much. All right, agenda item 4. On this, we need to consider approval for the minutes for the May 24th, 2022 meeting. All right. Looking for a motion and a second for that. Okay. Councilmember Jim.
Thank you, Councilmember Nevels. I move to approve the minutes for May 24th, 2022.
So I have a motion. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Hill. All in favor?
Yes.
Yeah, you're fine if you like to.
Walker, Carroll, Nevels, Judd, Matthew Hill, all in favor, none opposed, the motion carries.
Thank you very much. All right, now let's move to agenda item 5, which is review of the Crime Control Prevention District budget for fiscal year 2023-2024. Ms. Almendarez, if you'll come back up, please.
The total crime control and prevention district revenues are projected to be around $3.8 million for the next fiscal year, a 5% increase in sales tax revenue for fiscal year '24 proposed budget compared to fiscal year '23 adopted budget. Sales tax is this fund's primary revenue source and is estimated to be around $3.5 million or 91.55% of the total revenues. The remaining revenue is provided by salary reimbursement from the Coppell Independent School District for the school resource officers at $303,188, or 7.9% of the revenue. And interest earnings are estimated at $20,000 or 0.53% of the proposed revenues. The expenditures. Total crime control and prevention district expenditures are projected to be around $3.3 million for the next fiscal year. Salaries and benefits are $1,019,037, or around 30.3% of the budgeted expenditures. This funds 7 positions related to the School Resource Officer Program and the Neighborhood Community Policing Program. Supplies are approximately $227,330, or 6.7% of the overall budget. Services, total around $1.7 million, or 51.2% of the budget. This includes the payment to the North Texas Emergency Communication Center for dispatch services, which is a joint venture with the cities of Carrollton, Farmers Branch, Addison. Also included in services is a continuing contract with the City of Grapevine for jail services. For 3 consecutive years now, the general fund has received a reimbursement for administrative services. Administrative services reimbursements are part of the cost allocation study that provides reimbursement for services rendered to the general fund on behalf of the CCPD. Because CCPD operates as a business and it doesn't staff for positions like IT, accounts payable, or legal services, it reimburses the general fund for those services. The transfer category constitutes $394,389, or around 11.7% of the expenditures. This transfer is to the Capital Replacement Fund for 6 vehicles. The fund balance walk forward is presented beginning with fiscal year '22 actuals. The walk forward indicates that Rule 3.334 has not become effective yet. The uncertainty of the rule change created an opportunity for us to be proactive in our strategies for long-term financial sustainability. For fiscal year '24, we have a net increase of $463,372. In summary, the revenues for the fiscal year '23-24 are estimated to be $3,825,678, and the expenditures are $3,362,306. This concludes the review of the fiscal year '24 budget for the Crime Control and Prevention District. At this time, I would be more than happy to take any questions.
Any questions from the board members? All right. Thank you, Ms. Almendarez. I appreciate it. All right. We're going to move on to item 6, which is public hearing. Persons wishing to speak during the public hearing must sign the register and list their address. You will be called to speak in the order that you have registered. Public hearings are limited to 5 minutes per speaker. All right. I will now open the public hearing for anyone that would like to speak. Do we have anyone signed up to speak for the public hearing today? All right. Excellent. All right. With no one being signed up to speak, I'm looking for a motion and a second to close the public hearing. I don't get to it. Councilmember Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would move to close the public hearing. And is this where we adopt it?
That'll be the next agenda item.
Okay.
So
you just close the public hearing.
Do I have a second? Councilmember Hill. All right, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Walker, Carroll, Nevels, John, Matthew Hill. All in favor, none opposed. Motion carries.
Excellent. All right, public hearing is closed. All right, now we'll move on to item 7, which is adoption of the fiscal year 2023-2024 budget for the Crime Control and Prevention District. Seeing that there were no questions, I am looking for a motion. Councilmember Carroll.
I move to approve item number 7, adoption of the fiscal year 23-24 budget for the Crime Control and Prevention District.
Excellent. I have a motion. Is there a second from anyone? Councilmember Walker? Excellent. All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Walker, Carroll, Nevels, Dunn, Matthew Hill, all in favor, none opposed, motion carries.
Excellent. All right. Now, agenda item 8 is a review the budget calendar for the Crime Control and Prevention District, and we'll go back to Ms. Almendarez. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. The next steps for the Crime Control and Prevention District will be on August the 12th, where we will be placing a notice in the newspaper that the council will hold a public hearing on the Crime Control and Prevention District budget. On August the 22nd, we will be then having a public hearing and a proposed budget adoption by council.
All right, thank you. All right, agenda item 9. We need to consider election of president and vice president for the Crime Control District for next year. All right. Are there any nominations for president? Just a reminder, Councilmember Don Carroll is our sitting vice president as well. I thought I would throw that out just publicly, just so everyone would know. I'm looking for a nomination for a president, also reminding everyone that Councilmember Carroll is our current vice president. Councilmember John.
I nominate Councilmember Don Carroll as the president of the Crime Control District, Crime Control and Prevention District.
All right. So I have a motion. Is there a second? Councilmember Hill beat you. I'm sorry. All right. And I have a motion and a second. And all in favor?
Walker, Carroll, Nevels, Dunn, Matthew Hill, all in favor, none opposed, the motion carries.
Excellent. We also need to nominate a vice president for next year's Crime Control District. And I'd like to point out that Councilmember Walker is our newest addition to the team. So just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. Councilmember Hill.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to nominate Councilman James Walker for Vice President of the Crime Control and Prevention District.
Is there a second? All right, second by Councilmember Jun. All right, all in favor?
Walker, Carroll, Nevels, Dunn, Matthew Hill, all in favor, none opposed, the motion carries.
Excellent. I think there are no finer two people to head up this committee than these two gentlemen here to my left. So excellent. All right. Moving on to agenda item 10. With there being no further business before the Crime Control and Prevention District, we are adjourned at 5:44 p.m. Can I do it?